morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to my channel. My name is Julie. Today on Yin Yoga and More, we're going to be preparing the body for sleep using a combination of acupressure points, discussing herbs and aromatherapy oils, and then doing a short yin practice to start to relax the body, release emotions, and prepare the body for a deep restorative night's sleep. Sleep is imperative for a healthy body and mind, and a minimum of 7 hours is what is really needed for the body to replenish, restore, and heal. And oftentimes when there is stress, anxiety, and many life situations that are not peaceful around us, this is when the sleep pattern starts to be affected. Whether that's not being able to go to sleep or not being able to stay asleep, or waking up really early. So today's session is all about activating detox pathways, helping the body to release the emotions and the tension of the day, so that when you rest your head on your pillow at the end of the day, you go to sleep quickly and you stay asleep throughout the night. So the first point that we're going to look at today is activating acupressure points to start to help the internal organs to prepare for the sleep cycle. So the first one we're going to use is kidney 1, which is on the base of the foot, the sole of the foot. And kidney 1 is known as bubbling spring. So it's located from the base of the toes to the heel, a third of the way down the foot, in the centre of the foot. And you can use the index finger, the thumb, or even the knuckle to get deep into this point. And you would use a small circular clockwise motion. And this particular acupressure point helps to descend the energy. So if you're very much in your head and you're quite stressed, this helps to bring the energy down from the head, down into the feet. So it's very good for grounding the energy, for helping you to feel calm, and it also helps to improve sleep, the quality, the quantity, and the depth. So you would stimulate this point for between 1 and 3 minutes. And you would do both feet. And then the next point that I've chosen, these are all points that I use before I go to bed. So they're tried and tested and trusted. So the next point that I use is liver 3. So as you bring the finger between the webbing, between the two toes, in between the two joints, before you get to the top where the two joints merge, there's an indentation, and that indentation is lever 3. So again, you would use the index finger, the thumb, or even the knuckle. So you would find the indentation and then sink the finger into the indentation using small circular movements. And lever 3 is very much about helping the body to feel calm. It eases depression. It helps with insomnia, and especially insomnia due to fear. So if you have a fear around sleeping, or when you go to sleep you have fearful dreams, this would be a perfect point for you to use on a nightly basis. Nice firm pressure. If you come across an acupressure point that feels sore, that feels really tender, that's just a sign that that acupressure point needs a little bit of love, a little bit of extra love. And it's one you should focus on and maybe do 3 times throughout the day would be perfect. And then the next one that I've chose is lever 8. So lever 8, as you bend the knee, you would have a crease in the knee. And lever 8 is just above that crease in the knee. And lever 8 is very much for clearing excess heat. So it's fantastic if you're perimenopausal or menopausal, or if you just get hot. It's very good for genital issues, ovarian cysts, prostatitis, any kind of gynecological issue would definitely benefit from using lever 8. If the index finger doesn't feel as though it's giving you enough pressure, again, use the thumb or the knuckle. And again, you would do it between 1 to 3 minutes and on both knees. And then the next points that I chose are gallbladder, the gallbladder meridian that runs down the outside of the thigh. And the reason I've chosen to use this particular area of the gallbladder meridian is because it's the only area of the gallbladder meridian that is isolated. So it's very easy access, and the gallbladder is all about detoxing not only physically but detoxing emotionally, helping you to detox from toxic emotions, from fear, from anxiety, from stress, from anything that no longer serves you. And it also helps us to digest fats, specifically fat-soluble vitamins, which are really important for immune function. So this is very much about strengthening the immune system as well. So you would make a loose fist And where the hip, just below the hip, so it's just below the hip. So from the hip to the knee, we've got 4 acupressure points for the gallbladder meridian. So there's about a fist distance between each one. So just below the hip is 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do 30, and you would do both sides. So this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20, 1 more, and that's 30. And you would do both sides. And then the next one, we're moving to large intestine. So we've started to stimulate the detox process, and now we're coming to the release. So we're going for large intestine 4, and that's between the webbing of the first finger and the thumb. Now this is called the Great Eliminator. So this is a fantastic point for constipation. Anything that you want to let go of. So it's great for headaches, it's great for stress, for anxiety. If you're ready to let go of stress and anxiety ruling your life, this is a point that you would use on a daily basis. And to be honest, any time during the day that you're starting to feel stressed or anxious, or you feel that you've got a tension headache starting to come, I like to use my thumb with the index finger more or less opposite underneath the palm to give me the flexibility to get deep into that acupressure point. This is one of my favourites. And then the next one is large intestine 11. And as you bend the elbow, let me roll my sleeve up. It's a little bit too tight. As you bend the elbow, where the crease of the elbow, just at the top of that crease, is large intestine 11. And this would be used again to clear excess heat. So fantastic for perimenopausal and menopause. It reduces anxiety, will improve mood, improve digestion, and help with any upper body pain. So again, between 1 to 3 minutes. I do all of these before I go to bed at night, and it helps me to sleep really well and wake up feeling refreshed and ready to face the day. So the last one we're going to do is lung 2. So as you feel down the collarbone and the collarbone starts to join the shoulder, as you come down the shoulder, there's an indentation, and that indentation is where we're going to be working. So again, a loose fist, and you're just going to tap above that indentation, and this is going to regulate your lungs, and it's going to help you to remove heavy emotions. So we're letting go of so much before we go to bed. We're letting go of fear, anxiety, frustration, and using the acupressure points combined with the yin yoga and the assistance of herbs, if you choose to take that route as well, can ensure that you let go on a day-to-day basis and you don't take any of that to bed with you. And then again, come down the collarbone, down the shoulder to the indentation, and then tap. Breathing nice and deeply. We're now going to talk a little bit about herbs. Obviously with your herbs, before choosing to go down the herb route, it's wise to do some research, specifically if you're on medication. So you want to be looking to make sure that the herb of choice that you would like to try is not going to in any way be contraindicated with your medication if you take medication. But also if you have health conditions, just do a little bit of research before you start taking the herbs, just to make sure that it's safe for you to use. So the first herb I would recommend is chamomile. Chamomile as a tea is absolutely fantastic. I would suggest making a strong brew. So if you're using tea bags, then that would be 3 tea bags. If you're using the herb loose, then at least a tablespoon. And you're going to brew that for about 14 minutes with a plate over the top. And then you would strain it, use a sweetener of choice, and that would be taken probably about half an hour before you go to bed. And now chamomile is so gentle. It's a lovely herb, safe for children. and that would reduce stress. Reduce stress, induce sleep, ease digestion, and boost your immunity. And then the next one is valerian root, and that can either be taken in supplement form or again as a tea. And that's amazing for treating insomnia, easing anxiety and depression. It also increases GABA. Now GABA is an amino acid within the brain, and GABA is the calming amino acid. So it naturally increases GABA production. And it's also a muscle relaxant. And then we have hops. Now hops is amazing for reducing cortisol, which is your stress hormone, reducing inflammation and improving heart health. And then we have passion flower, which reduces anxiety, improves insomnia. It can also be used in seizures and with muscle spasms. And then the beautiful lemon balm, which reduces stress, anxiety, improves sleep and improves digestion. And you could also consider lavender essential oil, putting the lavender on your pillow, or even a really lovely thing to do is to take some coconut oil and add a few drops of lavender and to massage that into your feet, because there are so many reflexology points all over the soles of the feet and the toes and the tops of the feet and the sides of the feet. So it's a really lovely way. And then put some socks on. And wearing socks in bed is another, especially if you live in a cold climate, is another really lovely way to help you to fall to sleep quicker. Because when your feet are warm, that helps you to relax more. And again, that helps you to fall asleep. So we're now going to do some yoga poses, which I believe are fantastic, again, for helping to release the emotions, to open the body, and to just prepare yourself for a really good night's sleep. So the first one we're going to move into is Sphinx. So you're going to come down onto the mat, onto your belly, and you want your arms shoulder width apart. So if you want to take your hand and just touch your elbow, and that lets you know that your arms are shoulder distance apart. And then the shoulder and the elbow in line. But if this feels like too much of a curve on the lower back, then just take the arms further forward, which reduces the back bend. So nice and relaxed pose. That compresses the kidneys, allowing fresh blood to flow to the kidneys once the position is changed. So this is very good for replenishing the kidney health. On your next exhale, just bring one palm on top of the other, bringing the forehead down on top of the hands, and just gently rock your hips from side to side as we do a sacral rock. And then on your next exhale, place your hands under your shoulders as we come up into tabletop position. And then you're going to take your knees, as wide as is comfortable for you as we move into frog pose. So take your hips as wide as is comfortable for you. And you're going to line the knees with the ankles and engage the feet. And this might be enough for you. But if you feel that you can come down lower, then come down onto your forearms. And then when you've found your correct position that is comfortable for you, you've got the right knee width, then slowly start to take the hips back. Now this is quite an intense hip opener. It's great for helping you to release emotions that are stored in the hips. So take the hips back. The more you take them back, the more intense the pose becomes. If it becomes too intense, then just take the hips slightly further forward. Keeping a nice straight back. Your next exhale, bring the hands under the shoulders as you raise yourself up, and then bring one knee in, followed by the second, bringing the knees together, and then drop to the side as you bring the legs out in front. And we're going to come down into a reclining pose. We're going to do a recline twist. So engage the core as you start to lie down. And then bring the right leg up to the chest and give it a squeeze. Take the right arm out to the side in a T shape. And then on your next exhale, start to take that leg, the right leg, over the body. Grounding the shoulders into the mat. You can bring the right foot and rest it on the left leg. And if you want to stretch the neck, then slowly and mindfully take the head over to the right. a nice big inhale, and on your next exhale, use your left hand to slowly guide that leg back. As you come back, and then bring the left leg into the chest and give it a hug. Take the left arm out to the side, and on your next exhale, take that left leg over the body and over to the right. And if you want to stretch the neck, take the neck slowly and mindfully over to the left.